everybody, this is Isha Snehal and you're watching Snehology 101. Once again, we're going to talk about something important. I know I say that every single time, but well, hell yeah, it's important. You know why? Because you are done with your PS, that's your personal statement. You're done with your MSPE, transcripts, letter of recommendation, CV. But you know what's remaining? You need to select the number of residency programs you want to apply to, because ERAS is not going to do that for you. You have to select them individually. Well, some services that are available outside in the world are all paid services, and there are some services that are absolutely free, but you need to put in an extra amount of work in that. So let's kind of go through each of the services available. So there is one thing called FRIDA, which is like in association with American Medical Association, and there are some sites called Match a Resident. Sometimes even USMLE Sarthi helps you by selecting different programs according to your credentials, that is your STEP scores, your years of graduation, etc, etc. However, like I used FRIDA, and if you have some time on your hands, you can actually go through FRIDA and individually select programs. It's not a bad idea to also join WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups where they are making Excel sheets with joint efforts, and people are contributing from here and there, so it becomes like a very comprehensive list, and it's a good idea to kind of follow up with them. The next thing is if you are using FRIDA, then I would say you have to look into some characteristics in FRIDA, and let's see how. So FRIDA basically comes with a premium service and like a basic service, and if you're using the basic service, you will be able to access like the programs, but it will not kind of give you a list of programs according to your credibility. So when you go through programs, first you put in the name of the specialty. It will give you a list of like 400-500 programs that will cater to your specialty. Of course, that depends on the specialty. Like in internal medicine, you will have 400 to 600 programs. In neurology, you will have like 150 to 160 programs, and so on and so forth. Now, what you're supposed to do is to kind of pick one university and expand that list and see through its characteristics, and make a simultaneous note of the programs you want to apply to. What I did was I opened one window of FRIDA and simultaneously opened the window of ERAS, and directly like keep selecting that program into my ERAS. So on the expanded list, what are the things you need to look out for? First would be the location. Some universities will have one main center and some ancillary centers, so look out whether you're applying to the main one or the other ones, so keep that in mind. Second would be to look out for the minimum eligibility criteria. Some people have like a cap, and that's like a screen of the step 1 and step 2 scores, and also sometimes they have a screen of whether you've passed them on the first attempt. Some people also have a screen for step 3, so some people have not taken step 3, and hence they should not be applying to these programs because they obviously will be screened out and your money will be wasted. The other thing is that they always mention the years of graduation as one of their screens. Some people have it as 3, some people have it as 5, some people do not have that screen. So look through these criteria and be open-minded at the time of selection of these programs. Next would be to look into whether there is a certain percentage of IMGs they're recruiting. Like I'm talking from the perspective of IMGs. Some programs do not pick IMGs, and they have like a selection rate of less than 1%. So at such programs you would avoid applying, because it's like practically applying and just wasting money, because nobody will call you for an interview. Next would be checking out for visas. So some programs give you a certain visa and some programs do not. When you do not get a visa, you will not be able to practice and not even be able to come here. So obviously you need that criteria, like whether this program is sponsoring any visas or not, and what kind of visas, if you have like a specific visa in mind. Like some people prefer only H1B, some people prefer only J1, so you can look through it and decide for yourself. Then is whether the program wants to have you ECFMG certified. Now this is tricky because every time, even I was very confused actually during application, but what they say on paper or like on Frida website is that you need to be ECFMG certified before applying. But most of the students end up not having the real certification in hand, but they end up finishing the requirements. And really it's okay, because if you finish the requirements, you will get your certification in a month. And most programs really ask you for that certification is because they want to ensure that this person will eventually join their program. And if you finish the requirements, you will get the certification, so they will be sure. So basically, if you've completed the requirements, go ahead and apply to programs who say that you need to be ECFMG certified before applying. I hope that clears the doubts if anybody has them. So another thing I wanted to talk about was selecting advanced and prelim programs. Some programs are advanced, that is they start from second year and they require a year of prelim something like internal medicine or surgery. So depending on that program, like anesthesia or neurology, they want 1 year of medicine or surgery, and you have to select both advanced and prelim programs when you're applying. So most of the Frida programs, they will actually specify that this one is an advanced program. You need to select a prelim program also along with it. So some programs come with their own prelim programs. So you have to select that advanced program and then select the same prelim program, but their numbers will be different, so keep that in mind. And there is always a code that's present for every advanced or prelim program, so keep that in mind when you're actually putting it in the ERAS application. Some programs are only advanced, that is they do not have a prelim program, then you're free to choose any prelim program from the country. You could do that. You will match into the advanced program when your session will start 2 years from now, and you will match into the prelim program according to your ranking and the prelim program's ranking. You will actually be interviewing at the prelim program also, so you will be matched into advanced and then matched into prelim program according to your rank. I know it's very confusing, but that's how the algorithm works. So let me explain a little bit again. So you will be making a list of advanced or categorical programs, and you will be making a list of a supplementary list of prelim programs. So when the algorithm starts running, it will start taking into your rank in account from 1 to 10 from the main list, and then if you get matched to an advanced program, then it will start selecting from the supplementary list, which also you will rank from 1 to 10 depending on how many places you interviewed at. So that's about it. The breakdown of the amount of money that you will be spending approximately is like, depending, like if it's like around 140 programs around, it's like $3,900 to $4,000, which is a lot. So you have to use your resources judiciously, and if you're not interested in actually going to a program, do not apply there. Okay. Another thing is, on this note, I will also there is like a criteria. If you are selecting from 1 to 10 programs, you have to pay $99. If it's 11 to 20, it's $16 each. Then if it's 21 to 30, it's around $20 each, and if it's 31 and above, it's $26 each. Another thing is to actually keep note of the email addresses of the important people during the interview, and those will be your program director, the chief, and the program coordinator. And you can actually email these people when you're actually interested in that program, and it's regarded as something very positive because it shows that the student is actually interested to come there and train. So it is always given in the FRIDA list, and please feel free to take a note of that and email them beforehand or during interview, or if you have any questions, if they call you for an interview, or even if they don't call you for an interview, just go ahead and email them. It's not being pushy. Of course, don't email every other week because that's pushy, but I think you get the point. Alright, so on that note, I will take your leave and thank you for listening and tuning into Snehology 101. I really love you guys. All the very best for your applications, exams, etc. etc. Take care of your personal health, your family health, everything. Okay? Bye.